Morning, folks. It's a hump day shave. It's Wednesday. Going in with Stirling's Electric Sheep. If you look at their website, they mentioned that you might want to pick up a sample before you buy a full version of this one here. My nose picks up the scent, picks up. It smells like lemongrass to me, but it's got lemon, citronella, and I think there was one other scent that they mentioned in there. But my nose leans towards. It's similar to lemongrass, at least per my nose, and I really like this scent. Works well for my nose. Also, I should mention that as it goes for the tallow, it's mutton tallow, so that's kind of sort of where it's getting the electric sheep from. And I've got an older version of the bottle here of the aftershave. I have it whipped up here in a bowl. I'll show you these brushes also. I've had these brushes before, but I don't think I've ever mentioned them side by side. This one here is let's get it turned around so everybody can see what it looks like. It's a 24 millimeter badger knot. You can kind of see it blooms up just really nice. Big mushroom head, if you will. Got it whipped up here in a smooth bottom bowl. It really does smell good to me. I really like this scent. Now here is a Yaqi brush that the handle looks very similar. It is badger, but it is a 22 millimeter. Now this one here has already got soap in it, but you can kind of see they are very much similar in size. And believe it or not, this one here whips up lather quite easily, even only being at a 22 millimeter. So don't be surprised, in other words, if you decide to pick up a badger knot that from Yaqi that's got a smaller knot, that it actually whips up quite nice. You might be kind of surprised on how well it whips up the lather. Also, razor of the day, this one here was made by Metalworks. Don't think there was very many of these made. In other words, I may have the only one that, or there was only like maybe 5. There wasn't very many of these made, especially with this kind of handle. And this is what the head looks like. You can kind of see back the anvil there, and got a Astra Superior Platinum blade in there. If you wonder what that head looks like. I've shaved with this one here before on camera, and it does shave quite nice. It kind of reminds me of a Merkur 34, DE89, Edwin Jagger, but it's a pretty nice shaver. I've already put a hot towel to the face this morning. Going to use what's left of the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements ice cube for pre-shave soap. And this past few days, I spent some time with a couple of different focused razors. One of them was the original, I guess you might say the first Focus Dynamic, and that's the one with the pivoting head that uses half of a DE blade. And the other one was using the Tri-Talk focus, and it would be R53 is the number if you're kind of wondering about it. The slant version, trying to learn how to shave with it. In other words, maintain the angle, because the head is so flat. This one here's got quite a bit of an arch. And if you've ever seen the Tri-Talk, all of them are flat heads more or less. One's concave, one's slant, and then one's, I guess you might say, normal flat. I don't know how else to explain it, but trying to see if maybe my technique is not quite where it needs to be to maintain that angle. And I think I need to still spend some more time with it, get my mind wrapped around it. But as goes for the Focus Dynamic, the first one, not the Evo, in other words, very easy to use. I still enjoy using it. Makes for a quick, easy, mild shave on a day that you're not doing so well, or in a hurry, or that's just what you're, I guess you might say, requiring. For me, I guess you might say I kind of sort of finally figured out what was going on with me. Ended up with an ear infection, and it felt like one whole side of my face was swollen. It just was really sore and tender. Couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And just out of course of, I guess you might say, normal routine in the way of cleaning, grooming and whatnot, I managed, I was going to take a cotton swab, clean out my ears, and that's when I figured out what was going on. And went to the doctor, said not only is one of your ears not looking so good, but both of them are looking pretty bad. So I've been on an antibiotic and starting to feel quite a bit better. But it did take me a moment to try to figure out what was going on, why one side of my head was feel like it's all swollen and tender. At first, and because it was down, the tenderness was right there where your tonsils are at, and I still have my tonsils. And I thought, oh no, surely not. Thinking maybe there was an issue there, but finally figured it out, so went to the doctor, and I don't even think he spent 5 minutes in the room. In other words, it was pretty obvious what was going on. I haven't had an ear infection in, I don't know, 20 or so years. It's been forever. It's not something that commonly happens to me, especially in the dead of summer. When I was a kid, it always happened during the winter. Pretty efficient, like I say. I'm leaning more towards maybe the Mercury 34 as opposed to, it's just as smooth as the DE89. Probably has something to do with what kind of blade you're using, but this is a pretty smooth, efficient shaver. The handle, as big as it is, it's lightweight. It doesn't weigh a whole lot, and easy to hang on to. It's got the flat sides to it. It's got a few little grooves in it, but it is really easy to hang on to. Might be easier for some folks that are, I guess you might say, having trouble gripping things, to try one with a bigger handle. Mercury used to have one that handle that was looking kind of odd. As a matter of fact, I got one. I went and picked one up with red handle and a blue handle. A pretty unique looking handle, but it had grooves in it. It would look like it was pretty easy to hang on to. It was just an unusual looking handle, so for some folks, a handle that looks like this or like that Mercury that I'm referring to, it's no longer in production, so you'll have a tough time finding somebody that has it brand new. Handle is easy to hang on to. A little misleading, I guess you might say. It is actually quite comfortable to use. It's just not your typical looking handle, that's all. Boy, this this soap is really slick. If you hadn't had a chance to try Stirling, typically their tallow is beef. This one here is mutton. But boy, take your pick, either one. Whatever soap that you pick from them, it's pretty slick soap. Pretty easy to use. It doesn't take very long to lather it up. You definitely get your money's worth out of it as far as I'm concerned. This goes for brushes. I'm still, I guess you might say, starting to learn how to really lather with Badger brushes. One of my favorite, I got two of them that I really do enjoy. Synthetics are a given, in my opinion. They're pretty easy to use. Numerous reasons why to start with them, maybe even stick with them. But I do like horsehair, and I do like boar knots. To me, I find the boar knots lather up pretty quick, as well as the horsehair, of course. So it pretty much comes out being soft to begin with, at least per my use. Not everybody likes horsehair because usually the loft is kind of tall, and some consider it a little too floppy. But with my style of lathering in the bowl, it's a swirling motion. I don't really, mash down on the knot on the head or anything like that. It's just I just continue with the swirling motion. I don't face lather with it per se, so and even when I apply it to the face, it's painting strokes. So for me, it works out quite well, but for some other folks, not so much. I guess you might say it just depends on your style of lathering. Very smooth, comfortable. There's just a tiny bit left. In other words, just going through my normal routine. If I varied a little bit right through here, I would have had a PBS shave with very little effort. This is a nice razor. If you're wondering, Mac Metalworks they changed their direction. So in other words, they don't sell. I guess you might say they went more large scale as opposed to just making just a few one-offs or something like that, or just a very few razors. Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Alum block there. It's getting pretty small. Still hanging in there. I haven't dropped it since I removed the rubber band, so as long as I don't drop it, it's probably going to last all the way to Christmas. Maybe even past that. Got just a little bit of stinging right there, but like I said, this shave was really smooth and comfortable. I enjoy using this razor. It's easily a daily driver. Yeah, just a little bit of stinging on that side. Humphreys, witch hazel. Yeah, it's getting there. A little bit lower. Your first time you're seeing this one here. This jug. It's a jug. It's 16 ounces. It's not very small at all. And got it at Marshall's for about, what was it, $6? Very inexpensive. Fantastic buy. It is also unscented, but it naturally has a scent. Yep, there it is. $5.99 at Marshall's. Good place to go there on a regular basis and keep on hunting. You can find some pretty good deals on witch hazel. That natural occurring scent, for my nose, it's only there for a brief moment, then it's gone. Per my nose, it's already gone now. My wife, her nose is a whole lot better, and she doesn't like that witch hazel at all. She likes something scented. Starting out here with the, there we go, Electric Sheep aftershave. Per my nose, coming right out of the container, I don't find quite as much. My nose picks up more lemon than grass, but once I apply it, I guess you might say it all comes together. I like lemongrass. It smells fine to me. I don't have a problem with the scent of citronella. To me, it smells pretty good. Works well for my nose. Had a great shave today. Easy going. Going to have, got a couple of shaves worked up. One of them's going to be with a Rockwell 6C. I haven't done one with that shaver. I'll show you my setup so that way you have an idea. It makes for a nice travel razor. And of course the Merkur Future. Hope everybody's doing well, staying cool. I mean, it's been so miserable heat-wise around here. Definitely hiding from the heat. Supposed to be getting some rain here pretty soon. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.